As the sun set over the plains of Khorasan, the air was thick with silence. A silence that hid a storm unlike any other. In the winter of 1221, the Mongol horde, led by Genghis Khan's sons and generals, surrounded the ancient city of Nishapur. But this was no ordinary siege. It was vengeance, vengeance for a fallen prince. What followed would be remembered as one of the bloodiest massacres in human history. A few months earlier, during the Mongol conquest of Khorasan, Genghis Khan's beloved son-in-law, Toquchar, was killed by an arrow while leading an assault near Nishapur's walls. His wife, Khan's daughter, was devastated. When word reached the great Khan, his rage was cold and controlled. He didn't shout. He didn't curse. He simply said, "When Nishapur falls, no creature shall remain alive." His daughter demanded revenge, and he granted it. The Mongol army began to gather, 200,000 strong, led by Tolui, Genghis Khan's youngest son. Each soldier carried orders written in blood, "Leave no survivors." The Mongols surrounded Nishapur from all sides. The city's defenders, around 60,000 men, Persians, Turks, and scholars, stood ready atop the great mud brick walls. They knew resistance was death, but surrender would be worse. At dawn, Tolui ordered the drums of war to sound. A sea of horsemen advanced, each wearing lamellar armor, each arrow glinting in the cold light. The air screamed with the sound of Mongol horns. Catapults hurled stones. Chinese siege engineers brought firepots filled with burning oil, smashing against towers. Defenders rained arrows from above, chanting verses of faith. For 3 days, the city held. But the Mongols were patient. They filled the moat with corpses, built siege ramps, and battered the gates with rams wrapped in wet hides to resist fire. On the 4th morning, the eastern gate finally broke. The Mongols stormed in with a roar that echoed across the plain. The defenders fought valiantly, swords clashing, men screaming, but the tide was unstoppable. Tolui himself rode through the breach, sword red with blood. No mercy was given. Entire streets became rivers of death. Houses burned, mosques collapsed, and the cries of children filled the air. The Mongols cut down every man, woman, and child they found. Even the animals, dogs, cats, horses, were slaughtered. They said so much blood flowed that it turned the city's dust into mud. The resistance finally collapsed by sunset. Nishapur, once a jewel of Persian culture, was now nothing more than a graveyard. After the battle, Tolui ordered that no one be spared. Every surviving citizen, men, women, children, was brought outside the city walls. For 6 days, the executions continued. Chroniclers claim 1.7 million people were killed, though the true number may have been less. Still, the earth was blackened with corpses. Genghis Khan's daughter herself supervised the execution of captives. She demanded that her husband's killers be identified, and when they were found, she ordered them to be buried alive. Her revenge was complete, but so was her grief. She later went into isolation, speaking to no one again. The Mongols burned the city to ashes, sparing only a handful of artisans and scribes to record the event. Every minaret was torn down, every library destroyed. The scholars of Nishapur, poets, doctors, and astronomers, were gone in a single night. When Tolui returned to his father, Genghis Khan said only, "You have done what must be done." For the Mongols, Nishapur was justice. For history, it was horror. The destruction sent a message across the world. That the Mongols were unstoppable, that defiance meant extinction. Nishapur never truly recovered. Its ruins stood for centuries as a warning to all who resisted the Great Khan. And somewhere in those ashes, legend says, a single stone still bears the faint mark of a sword stroke. The mark of vengeance that changed the course of Central Asia forever. If you found this story of vengeance and empire powerful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Echoes of Time, where history isn't just told, it's felt.